Should we do the review? Stop talking. Do the review. Turn up the volume. Too loud. You're too quiet. Nobody is watching. They all hate you. Get on with it. They're clicking away. They love you. Review something else. The microphone is off. It's that noise. Turn this off. Start the review.
Welcome back to No Time Gamer. If you're new here, hit subscribe to get more reviews and content for busy gamers to make sure your gaming sessions are time well spent. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a unique game that looks and sounds like a major release, but plays and feels like a smaller title. The first and most prominent feature of the game is the sound design. This is a game that begs to be played with a quality sound system, or, as recommended by the developers, with headphones. During the entire playthrough of Hellblade, you'll hear voices arguing within Senua's head, and this is best experienced with headphones, so you can feel like the voices are in your head. These voices will create doubt in you, as well as assist you as you play. They contradict each other and create a sense of chaos that few games can through visuals alone. And chaos and doubt are the major themes of Hellblade. To not spoil the game, I'll give a brief summary. Senua is on a journey to Hell, or Helheim, to save a lost loved one. As Senua journeys, she will encounter monsters, gods, fears, and delusions. The gameplay of Hellblade consists of three main mechanics: combat, pattern exploration, and puzzle solving. Since this is a short game that will only take about 6 to 8 hours to complete, I will keep the gameplay clips to the early portions of the game, so avert thine eyes if you wish to avoid all spoilers. To fight the enemies of Hellblade, you'll have light, heavy, and melee attacks to go along with block, dodge, and a combat focus. Fighting feels slow and tactile with meaty blows. None of the fighting is particularly hard, but if you really want to focus on the narrative and breeze through the fights, you can always reduce the combat difficulty in the settings. The pattern exploration and puzzle solving will be a different matter. This is the indie part of the game that explores a few unique mechanics. Senua visualizes different patterns on gates that function as mystical locks that must be undone by seeing the pattern on a gate and then finding it or aligning it with objects in the nearby area. Doing so will unlock the gate and allow Senua to proceed. This is where I felt lost or confused the most. The answers are not that hard to deduce, but you will have to do some wandering to get to the solutions. There are other gate opening mechanics that use twists on this concept, but again, I won't reveal too much here. Probably my favorite part of Hellblade is the complete lack of user interface. I would typically find this frustrating, but it adds to the experience in Hellblade by not giving any form of tutorial or guidance, and it keeps the display clear of a distracting user interface. The lack of on-screen cues keeps you guessing as to what you were supposed to do. It helps you feel the mindset of Senua and experience the mental conflict she is having. And this is what makes Hellblade so unique as a game. It puts you in distinctive experiences and gameplay elements that hone you into the mind of a character experiencing psychosis. I have zero psychological expertise or knowledge, so I will not comment on the accuracy of the depiction. But as a layman to this field, I found it utterly captivating. The arguing voices alone had me doubting the moves I was making. Was I going the right way? Was I lost? It made me question it all. And the intensity of the performances and the visual madness on display all fed into the creation of a character on the edge of sanity. The only drawback to the game is perhaps it is best viewed as an interactive movie. You are in control of Senua for most of the game, but this is a linear experience with no deviations. The puzzles and combat are interactive enough to make you feel like you're doing something, but the solutions to the puzzles and the limitations on combat leave little room for creativity. It tells a deep and compelling narrative, but it comes at the cost of freedom and player ingenuity. For our viewers who happen to be undergoing the doubt and madness of parenthood, here are a few things to know about Hellblade. This game has a unique take on psychological issues that could be interesting to discuss with older kids, but the intensity of the visuals, the disturbing imagery, and the visceral combat will be a bit much for younger lads and lasses to either see or play. Also, with the audio effects and general feel of the narrative, it's probably best to play this game alone so you can experience it to its fullest without interruption. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a unique game that really should be experienced. It's a deep narrative take on psychosis, and the game elements built around those ideas are intriguing and worth a playthrough. It may take freedom away from the player and force you to ride along on this narrative journey, but with its playtime only being 6 to 8 hours, you won't be worn out by the lack of control, and it's an interesting ride. So for busy gamers, Hellblade's Senua's Sacrifice is time mostly well spent. What do you think about our Hellblade review? Here's another review you can watch to see what other games are time well spent.